What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Compound channel. No intro on this video. This is an emergency press conference video. We are going to be talking about the lack and the non-existence of any sellers here of HNT. This God candle has continued and has finally concluded a few minutes ago. I think everyone thought that Helium would retrace a little bit below $4 after yesterday tapping the $5 level. Right now, we're sitting at $5.02, and this daily candle for December 7th just started a few minutes ago. As you can see, yesterday's candle did in fact touch, or just about touch, this very real resistance line that was created way back in September of 2022. In this video, we're going to look at the daily chart, the weekly chart, the monthly chart, as well as coin market cap to get an idea of how Helium is performing relatively, as well as some of these Helium sub-tokens. But guys, it is very clear that the Helium news has really sent people scrambling to get some HNT. I mean, that is very, very clear. This candle is insane. But this is the daily chart, as we can see, touching this very real resistance on the daily, blowing straight past this previous resistance here like a hot knife through butter. And obviously, we highlighted this in previous videos, but we did break through these previous resistances and tap them before heading higher. This one we completely disregarded. And it appears that we just tapped this one at $5.66. But to give us a little bit more perspective and also a little bit more confidence that we have a lot of room to run higher, we're going to take a look at the weekly now. And as you can see, we are approaching a very strong resistance here on the weekly. It sits right around the $5.20 level. This weekly candle close, of course, has a few days left. This is going to be a very interesting level come the close of this weekly candle. But for perspective, I wanted to get an idea of how much we could see this move run. So I measured these previous weekly sprints that HNT has had from the open on the first green weekly candle to the close on the last green weekly candle. And way back in 2021, we saw a 116% increase here in these 5 weeks. And we saw a 154% increase in price in these 3 weeks in November, which led us to the all-time high. And now if we measure this move that we are currently on, we can see that if we go from the bottom, the open of that first candle to, let's go to where we are right now, it is 240% increase. So it is a much larger percentage increase. And of course, that is because the market cap is significantly smaller down here. But it gives us a little bit of an idea of the magnitude of this move. It is a really, really large percentage increase for HNT over these, what appears to be 6 or 7 green weekly candles, despite these first few being rather small. They were green. And on the weekly past this level, we can see 735 is going to be a very real level for the weekly. And past that, this will likely be the most difficult level to overtake. As we can see, it obviously was the bottom way back in 2021, but also it did serve as resistance in mid-2022 as well. That is going to be a big one, right around the psychological $11 mark. And if we take a look at the monthly, we can see that $5.25 is going to be the level we are working with on the monthly. And also, if we zoom out here on the monthly, it gives us a little bit of perspective on what this move really looks like in the grand scheme of things, and gives us a lot of confidence, or at least me, a lot of confidence that there is a lot more room ahead. It is still very early for HNT, Helium Mobile, Helium IoT, and any sub-networks that are launched in the future. But guys, I think this news and this price action gives validity to what Helium is doing and what they are building. This is really industry disrupting stuff, as we highlighted earlier today in a different video. But these levels on these different time frames are going to be very, very interesting. And the larger the time frame, the more significant the price action. Guys, the last thing I do want to stress here is the very apparent bullish convergence on this daily chart. As we can see way back in what feels like forever ago, around $1.80 in April, we can see that we had a high and the first higher high, the first local higher high. And we can see on the MACD, we had a lower level of momentum there. And that was an indicator that we may not be in the clear just yet. And of course, we did come back. Buyers took over before we retraced all the way back to 120, which was the support. Buyers came back and somebody just was on a buying campaign right here. I mean, somebody was just bidding day in, day out, small amounts, and just accumulating like crazy here. And of course, we went higher. But the most important thing is that these higher levels in price were accompanied by higher levels of momentum on the MACD all the way up until, well, I mean, up until right now, of course, but these levels of the MACD are pretty insane. But as we can see, this was an indicator that we would see this rally, and it's not apparent and it's not there on a lot of other charts that saw higher prices. They did not see higher levels on the MACD. But if we look here at CoinMarketCap, guys, we can see Helium is now number 74 on the list, very comfortably back into the top 100 coins by market cap. And if we check here, we can see it's number 2 in performance over the last 24 hours, and it is number 4 over the last 7 days in the top 100 coins by market cap. Very, very nice to see. Finally back in the top 100. I think we were close to the 200s at one point. Really impressive clawback here for Helium. And if we take a look, we can see that Helium, IoT, and mobile are not far behind. We have a 58% increase for IoT over the last 24 hours, 28% increase in mobile over the last 24 hours. And we have to remember these are far less liquid than HNT. They're also far smaller market cap, which isn't calculated here. But they're much smaller and much less liquid than HNT is. But I would expect them to track the price of HNT rather closely. We'll see how that works out in the future, but ultimately HNT is the only token that can be burned for data credits across all subnetworks. So it is the governing token still and is the closest to being representative of the actual data usage across all of the subnetworks. And guys, lastly, I do want to come over here because this is a very interesting piece of the puzzle. As far as price goes, we are about 10x away from the all-time high in terms of price. However, that's not the best gauge. What we should be looking at is the market cap. And as far as market cap goes, we're at about 700 million, and the all-time high market cap was around 5 billion. So we're a little bit more than 5x away from all-time highs in terms of market cap, which I think is a much better gauge and a much better target to be using as opposed to the price. And I certainly think this is very, very doable, this bull run, especially now. I mean, back when this happened, there was no mobile network. Helium didn't have any sub-networks. Usage data was mostly speculative. Like nothing was really working. We weren't even on Solana. So, I mean, I think we are going to certainly surpass this previous all-time high in market cap and in price. But first and foremost, I think we should be looking at this market cap all-time high and be keeping a close eye on our progress that way. But guys, this was just a quick update considering HNT was going absolutely bananas again. And I think we just finished one of the most historic candles, certainly, definitely the most historic candle in terms of the Helium price chart, maybe in terms of any crypto right now. But I did want to get this out there because this is really, really monumental stuff. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching until the end. Leave any questions or comments down below. Very, very excited for the future of Helium. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already. But just like that, this video is over, and I will see you next time.